The gun felt heavier than I remembered. Cold steel pressed against my palm while rain hammered the warehouse windows like angry fists. Dante stood 15 feet away, hands raised, that familiar smirk still playing on his lips even now. Even facing death. "Natalia," he said, voice smooth as expensive whiskey. "You won't do it. We both know you won't." My finger trembled on the trigger. He was right to doubt me. 3 years ago I'd been a nobody. A cocktail waitress in Atlantic City who served drinks to men in expensive suits and pretended not to hear their conversations. Then Dante Rossi walked into my life like a storm I couldn't outrun. He saw something in me that night. Something I didn't see in myself. "You're different," he'd said, sliding a $100 bill across the bar. "Most people look through me. You look at me." I should have walked away. Should have ignored those dark eyes that seemed to read my soul. But I didn't. I never did. 6 months after we met, I married him. The ceremony happened in a courthouse in Newark, witnessed by 2 strangers pulled from the hallway. Dante wore black. I wore red because white felt like a lie. "You're mine now," he whispered against my neck afterward. "Forever." I believed him. God help me, I wanted to believe him. Dante's world was dangerous and beautiful. Penthouse apartments overlooking the Hudson. Private jets to Milan. Jewelry that cost more than my mother earned in 10 years. But the beauty had teeth. I learned quickly that Dante Rossi wasn't just wealthy. He controlled half the Eastern Seaboard's underground operations. Drugs, weapons, information. His family name carried weight that made politicians sweat and rivals disappear. "Does it bother you?" he asked one night 3 months into our marriage. "What I do?" I traced the tattoo on his shoulder, a black rose with thorns that wrapped around his bicep. No. That was my first real lie to him. Did bother me. Not the money or the power. The violence bothered me. The casual way Dante could order someone's death between bites of dinner. The ease with which he compartmentalized his world. But I loved him anyway. Or maybe I loved him because of it. He made me feel protected. Chosen. Special. Dante kept me separate from the business at first. "You're too pure for this," he'd say, kissing my forehead. "I want one clean thing in my life." I played the dutiful wife. Attended charity galas. Smiled for photographs. Learned which families were allies and which were barely controlled enemies. The Castellanos to the north. The Volkov Bratva to the east. The Romano clan in Philadelphia. All circling like sharks, waiting for weakness. Then everything changed the night I met Vincent. He was Dante's younger brother. 26 to Dante's 32. Where Dante was calculated and cold, Vincent burned hot and reckless. Vincent arrived from Chicago on a Tuesday in October. I'd heard about him but never met him. Dante rarely mentioned his brother except in tones of frustration. "He's brilliant," Dante said the morning Vincent was due. "And he's going to get himself killed." Vincent walked into our penthouse like he owned it. Tall and lean where Dante was broad. Messy dark hair where Dante's was perfectly styled. Same dark eyes though. Same dangerous smile. "So you're the famous Natalia," Vincent said, taking my hand. His grip lingered too long. "Dante said you were beautiful." He undersold it. Something electric passed between us. I pulled my hand away quickly, but not before I saw Dante's jaw tighten. Jealousy flickered across his face. Gone so fast I almost missed it. "Vincent's staying with us for a while," Dante announced. "Family business." That first week was normal enough. Vincent mostly kept to himself. But I felt him watching me. At breakfast when Dante was on calls. In the hallway late at night when I couldn't sleep. Always watching with those dark eyes that reminded me too much of my husband's. "You don't belong here," Vincent said one afternoon. We were alone in Dante's study. I'd been looking for a book. "Excuse me." Turned heart racing. Vincent leaned against the doorframe, arms crossed. "In this life, you're not built for it. I can see it in your eyes. You're pretending. You don't know anything about me." I know you flinch when Dante talks business. I know you look away when his lieutenants visit. I know you cry in the shower when you think no one can hear. My blood ran cold. How do you? The walls are thin. And I pay attention. He stepped closer. Too close. I could smell his cologne, different from Dante's. Harper. Why are you really here? I demanded, trying to sound confident. Vincent's smile was sad. Dante asked me to come. Said he had a job that required family trust. He paused. But between you and me, I think he wanted me here to watch you. That's insane. Dante trusts me. Does he? Then why does he have cameras in every room except your bedroom? Why does he track your phone? Why does Alexander follow you every time you leave the building? Alexander was Dante's head of security. A mountain of a man who spoke 3 words a day. I'd noticed him nearby when I shopped, but I thought that was normal protection. You're lying, I whispered. Vincent pulled out his phone, showed me an app. Multiple camera feeds displayed our apartment in real time. Living room, kitchen, study, room. He's paranoid, Natalia. He loves you but he doesn't trust you. There's a difference. That night I confronted Dante. Are you having me watched? He didn't even look up from his laptop. Of course. You're my wife. My most valuable asset. I'm not an asset. I'm a person. In my world, those things aren't mutually exclusive. He finally met my eyes. I protect what's mine. The cameras keep you safe. From what? From everyone. Including yourself. He stood, crossed to where I stood by the window. You think I don't see how you look at exit doors? How you pause before answering my questions? You're always half planning an escape, Natalia. The cameras remind you that you can't. My hands shook with anger. If you don't trust me, why did you marry me? Because I love you. And love isn't about trust. It's about possession. He kissed my forehead like always, like he hadn't just confirmed my worst fears. After that night, something broke between us. Dante felt it too. He started coming home later, spending more time with his captains, leaving me alone with Vincent. He's testing us, Vincent said one evening. We were having dinner together, just the 2 of us. Dante had flown to Boston for business. Testing us for what? Loyalty. He wants to see if you'll betray him. If I'll betray him. Vincent poured more wine. Dante's brilliant, but he's also deeply damaged. Our father was the same way. Paranoid. Controlling. It destroyed him in the end. What happened to your father? Someone he trusted put a bullet in his head. Dante found the body. He was 17. That explained so much. The cameras. The control. The inability to truly trust anyone. I should leave, I said quietly. Before this gets worse. You can't. He'll never let you go. You know too much now. Vincent was right. Over the next few weeks I tried to create distance. Started talking about visiting my mother in Ohio. Maybe staying a few weeks. Dante's response was immediate and cold. Your mother can come here if you miss her. You don't leave. That's not fair. Fair. He laughed without humor. Natalia, you married into the Rossi family. Fair stopped being relevant. You're here until I say otherwise. The cage was invisible but absolute. My credit cards worked only for approved purchases. My phone was monitored. Alexander's presence became constant. And Vincent watched it all with those knowing eyes. Leave with me, Vincent said one night. Dante was in Philadelphia for 3 days. We were alone in the penthouse, drinking expensive scotch. What? Leave. Run. I know people who can hide us. Even from Dante. My heart raced. Why would you help me? Because you deserve better than this. And because... He stopped himself. Because what? Pressed. Vincent looked at me with an intensity that made breathing difficult. Because I've been falling for you since the moment I arrived. And I hate myself for it. The confession hung between us like smoke. I should have stood up. left the room. Called Dante. Instead, I stayed frozen, watching Vincent's face, seeing the truth written there. We can't, I whispered. I know. He's your brother. I know. He'd kill us both. I know. Vincent stood, crossed the room. Stopped inches away. Tell me to leave. Tell me you don't feel it too. Couldn't. 'Cause I did feel it. Had been feeling it for weeks. This pull toward Vincent that had nothing to do with logic or loyalty or right and wrong. This is insane, I breathed. Probably. He cupped my face. Last chance, Natalia. Tell me no. I didn't. God help me, I didn't say no. We kissed like drowning people finding air. Desperate and wrong and perfect. Vincent's hands tangled in my hair while I grabbed his shirt, pulling him closer. We stumbled backward until my spine hit the wall. We shouldn't, I gasped between kisses. I know. His mouth found my neck. We can't. I know. But we did anyway. Right there against the wall of Dante's apartment, we betrayed him in the worst possible way. Afterward, lying in Vincent's bed, reality crashed down. Dante will kill us, I said, staring at the ceiling. We have to stop. This can never happen again. Vincent turned, propped himself on one elbow. Or we run. Tonight. Right now. I have money Dante doesn't know about. Passports. We could disappear. He'll find us. Maybe. Eventually. But we'd have time. Month. Maybe years. The temptation was overwhelming. Freedom with Vincent. A life without cameras and control. But leaving meant war. Dante wouldn't just let me go. He'd burn the world finding us. And when he did, the punishment would be biblical. I need time to think, I said. We don't have time. Dante's getting suspicious. I see it in how he looks at me now. You. He knows something's wrong. Vincent was right. Dante had been different since returning from Philadelphia. Colder. More watchful. Last night he'd asked me point-blank, "Are you happy, Natalia?" The question felt like a trap. Of course, I'd lied. You'd tell me if something was wrong. If someone was bothering you. Yes. More lies stacking up like corpses. Good. Because I'd kill anyone who tried to take what's mine. The threat was clear. Vincent dressed, paced the room. 3 days. That's all we have. Dante's flying to Miami for a sit-down with the Romano family. He'll be gone 72 hours. We leave then. The next 2 days were torture. Acting normal while planning betrayal. Smiling at Dante while thinking about his brother. Every touch from my husband felt like a lie. Every kiss tasted like guilt. You seem distant, Dante said the night before his Miami trip. We were in bed, his arm around my waist. Just tired. Vincent's been good company while I'm working. My heart stopped. He's fine. Quiet mostly. Good. I worry about leaving you alone so much. But Vincent's family. I can trust him to protect you. The irony was poisonous. Dante trusted the one person actively planning to steal me away. I love you, Dante whispered into my hair. More than anything in this world. You know that, right? I know. My voice cracked. If I ever lost you, there'd be nothing left of me worth saving. Guilt consumed me. But not enough to stop what came next. Dante left for Miami at 6 a.m. By 7 Vincent and I were packing. Only essentials, he instructed. 1 bag. Nothing sentimental. Nothing traceable. I grabbed clothes. Cash I'd been secretly saving, my mother's necklace. The weight of what we were doing pressed down like concrete. Last chance to change your mind, Vincent said, watching me zip my bag. Are you changing yours? No. Not even a little bit. We were loading the car when my phone rang. My hand shook taking the call. Hey. Just landed. Wanted to hear your voice before meetings start. His voice was warm. Loving. The Dante I'd fallen for 3 years ago. Miss you already, I managed. Miss you too, baby. Vincent taking care of you. I looked at Vincent, who was putting our bags in the trunk. Yeah. He's great. Good. Be home tomorrow night. We'll have dinner. Just us. Tears burned my eyes. We were an hour outside the city when everything fell apart. Vincent's phone rang. He glanced at the screen, face going pale. It's Dante. Don't answer. I have to. He'll know something's wrong if I don't. Vincent pulled over, answered on speaker. Hey, brother. Where are you? Dante's voice was ice. Driving. Running errands for Natalia. Why? What kind of errands? Just stuff. Groceries. Dry cleaning. The usual. Silence stretched. Then. You're a terrible liar, Vincent. Always have been. My stomach dropped. Dante. Put my wife on the phone. Vincent handed me his cell with shaking hands. Dante, I can explain. Can you? Explain why my head of security just showed me footage of you and my brother loading luggage into his car. Explain why you're 60 miles outside the city. Go ahead. I'm listening. Tears streamed down my face. I'm sorry. That's it. You're sorry. His voice cracked with rage. Come home, Natalia. Both of you. We'll talk about this like family. We can't. You can't. Or won't. Dante's laugh was broken glass. I gave you everything. Protection. Love. A life most people only dream about. And you betray me with my own brother. It's not like that. Then what's it like? Explain it to me. Help me understand why the woman I trusted more than anyone is running away with Vincent. There was no explanation that would satisfy him. No words that could fix this. I love him, I whispered. The silence that followed was terrible. When Dante spoke again, his voice was dead. Then you've both chosen your graves. Come home or run. Either way, you're already dead. The line went dead. Vincent stared at me. We keep going. We don't stop until we're across the border. He'll find us. Maybe. But we knew the stakes. We made it to Canada. Spent 3 weeks in a cabin outside Montreal, looking over our shoulders constantly. Vincent had been right about having resources. Money, contacts, safe houses. But none of it mattered. Dante's reach was longer than we'd imagined. The first sign came when Vincent's main contact turned up dead. Shot twice in the head, left in an alley with a black rose on his chest. Dante's calling card. He's sending a message, Vincent said, staring at the news report. He knows we're in Montreal. We should move again. Where? He has people everywhere. New York, Chicago, LA, Miami. There's nowhere in North America he can't reach. Desperation was setting in. We'd been living off cash, no credit cards, no phones except burners we changed weekly. But isolation was its own prison. I couldn't call my mother. Couldn't contact friends. Couldn't exist as Natalia Rossi anymore. I have an idea, Vincent said. But you'll hate it. His idea was witness protection. Turn Dante in, testify against the family. Disappear into federal custody. Absolutely not, I said immediately. It's the only way we survive this. Dante won't stop. You know he won't. But if he's in prison, they'll never convict him. He has judges, prosecutors, entire police departments on payroll. We'd be signing our death warrants for nothing. Vincent grabbed my shoulders. Then what? We run forever. Live in fear until Dante finds us. We fight back. The words surprised even me. But once spoken they felt right. We expose him. Release everything he's hidden. His deals, his connections, his crimes. Burn his empire to the ground. That's suicide. Maybe. But at least we'd die fighting instead of running. Vincent studied my face. You've changed. The scared girl I met 3 months ago wouldn't have suggested that. That girl died the moment I chose you over him. We started planning. Vincent knew where Dante kept his insurance files. Documents proving corruption, money laundering, murders. Dante kept them as protection, leverage against enemies. Now they'd be his downfall. Getting them won't be easy, Vincent warned. They're in the penthouse. In his private safe. Can you crack it? No. But you can. He used your birthday as the combination. I've seen him open it. My birthday. Even now, planning his destruction, Dante's love showed through in small details. It made what we had to do harder. We returned to New York on a gray Tuesday morning. The city felt different now. Dangerous. Every face in the crowd could be Dante's soldier. He knows we're here, I said, feeling eyes on us. Probably. But he doesn't know what we're planning. We waited until nightfall. Dante was in Atlantic City for a meeting. We had 4 hours. The penthouse felt like visiting a grave. Everything exactly as I'd left it. My coffee mug still sat by the sink. Dante's jacket hung on the chair. Photos of us lined the hallway. Don't, Vincent said, seeing me hesitate. Don't let sentimentality stop you. He'd kill us both without blinking. I moved to the study. The safe was hidden behind a painting of Venice. Dante had taken me there for our first anniversary. We'd kissed on gondolas and made love in a hotel older than America. I spun the combination. My birthday. The safe clicked open. Inside were files. Hundreds of pages of crimes, deals, payoffs. Proof that could dismantle the Rossi empire completely. Grab everything, Vincent said. We'll sort it later. I was loading files into a bag when I heard the voice. I knew you'd come back. Dante stood in the doorway. He'd known. Of course he'd known. Vincent reached for his gun, but Dante was faster. The shot exploded in the small space. Vincent went down, blood spreading across his shirt. No! I dropped the bag, fell to my knees beside him. God, no, Vincent, please. Touching, Dante said, stepping closer. He held the gun steady. My wife crying over my brother. This is almost poetic. Call an ambulance. Please, Dante. He's your brother. He stopped being my brother when he touched my wife. Dante's face was stone. And you stopped being my wife when you chose him. Vincent coughed blood. His eyes found mine, trying to communicate something. Love. Regret. Goodbye. I'll make this quick, Dante said, raising the gun again. That's more mercy than either of you showed me. Something snapped inside me. Rage. Grief. Desperation. I lunged for the gun on Vincent's belt. Dante saw the movement, tried to adjust his aim. Too late. Fired first. The bullet caught Dante in the shoulder. He stumbled back, shocked more than hurt. Natalia! I fired again. This time the bullet hit his chest. Dante dropped to his knees, gun clattering away. Blood soaked his white shirt, spreading like wine. You shot me, he whispered. Wonder in his voice. Like he couldn't believe it even as it happened. I stood over him, gun shaking in my hands. Behind me Vincent made gurgling sounds. Dying. In front of me, Dante bled out on his expensive carpet. I loved you, Dante said, each word painful. Everything I did because I loved you. You didn't love me. You own me. There's a difference. Is there? He coughed blood. You're holding a gun on the man who'd die for you. Who's the monster now? The question hit harder than any bullet. I'd become exactly what I'd feared. Violent. Capable of killing. Dante's world had infected me completely. Vincent, I choked out, lowering the gun. Turn. Vincent was still. Too still. I'd killed Dante for nothing. Vincent was already gone. The grief was overwhelming. I dropped beside Vincent's body, sobbing. Everything we'd planned, everything we'd sacrificed, gone. Behind me, Dante struggled to breathe. Come here, he rasped. Please. I should have left him. Called the police. Run. Instead, I crawled to where my husband lay dying. I'm sorry, he whispered. Blood bubbled at his lips. For the cameras. The control. I couldn't lose you. Not like I lost everything else. You lost me anyway. I know. His hand found mine. Weak now. Fading. Do it. Finish it. Don't let me die slow. The gun sat between us. His request was clear. I can't. You already did. Just make it quick. That's all I'm asking. Tears blurred my vision. Despite everything, I'd loved this man. Married him. Built a life with him. Please, Natalia. This is the last thing I'll ever ask you. Picked up the gun. Pressed it to Dante's forehead. I'm sorry, I whispered. For all of it. I'm not. Even bleeding out, knowing you betrayed me, I'm not sorry. 'Cause I had you for 3 years. That's more than I deserved. His eyes held mine. No fear in them. Just acceptance. Do you still love me? Even a little? The question broke me. Yes. God help me, yes. Then that's enough. Dante smiled. Blood on his teeth. That's enough. Pulled the trigger. The gunshot echoed through the penthouse. Then silence. Dante's eyes stared at nothing. My husband. My captor. My victim. I sat there for a long time. 2 bodies cooling around me. The files scattered across the floor. Evidence that didn't matter anymore. The police arrived 30 minutes later. Anonymous tip called in by a neighbor who'd heard shots. They found me sitting between the bodies. Trial lasted 6 weeks. I told them everything. The abuse. The control. The cameras. Vincent's plan to help me escape. Dante's rage when he discovered us. The prosecutors called it self-defense. Dante's lawyers called it calculated murder. The jury deliberated for 3 days. Finally reaching a verdict. Not guilty. I walked out of that courthouse a free woman. Legally at least. But freedom felt hollow. I'd lost everything. My husband, despite his flaws, was dead by my hand. Vincent, who'd loved me enough to betray his own blood, was gone. My old life was destroyed. My new life built on corpses. Sometimes at night, I still feel the gun's weight in my hand. Still see Dante's eyes in that final moment. Still hear Vincent's last breath. People ask if I regret it. Pulling the trigger. Killing Dante. Tell them no. I tell them I had no choice. But the truth is more complicated. I loved him. I killed him. Both things are true. Both will haunt me forever.